Locker Room Cam brought to you by Watch Dogs, the video game, available May 27th. Pre-order now. The All-American, the Olympian, the undefeated mixed martial artist, Daniel D.C. Cormier, puts his 14-0 record on the line tonight against one of the greatest of all time. Dan Henderson, a true mixed martial arts Hall of Famer, the former Pride 183 and 205-pound champion, the former Strikeforce light heavyweight champion. The 43-year-old has one thing left to accomplish in his MMA career, and in his mind, that is to win the belt in the UFC. And there you see Alexander Gustafsson set for another battle with Jon Jones, Rashad Evans. Glover just fought, but Cormier and Henderson, a matchup of Olympians.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see Gustafsson get back in there again for another shot at the title, which apparently will be next. The interesting thing about Henderson is he's the rare guy that can fight in two divisions and be really successful. At 185, he's a killer, and he's a killer at 205. But honestly, in this fight, he came in under 200 pounds for the first time in a long.
199.
Yeah, which is interesting. And it could help him with speed, or it could hurt him. You know, I'm curious to see how well he moves and how this goes down tonight.
Going to be fun to watch as Dan Henderson battles DC fellow Olympian Daniel Cormier.
Not many guys go through their careers undefeated. That's my goal. I don't want to lose ever. And with the skills that I have, I don't see any reason why I can't win every single fight I'm in.
Big right hand. He clipped him and hurt him bad. He got rocked. Can he finish it? It's all over. Daniel Cormier.
I truly believe with every fiber of my being, I can be the champion.
He's relentless.
The only goal I still have that I haven't reached is, you know, to win that UFC belt, and this will give me that chance to be right back there to fight for the title.
Dan Henderson's been the model for what I want to be in the sport. He won in Pride, he won in Strikeforce. The only thing missing from his career is the UFC championship. But you know what, man? I'm going to go in there, win my fight, and then just sit on the sidelines and wait for my title shot.
He's going to do great things in the sport later after I beat him up.
Dan Henderson's very, very dangerous, tough, durable. I'm excited to test myself against him, though. I really am.
It'll be an interesting fight for sure. He's really explosive, and he tends to like to strike, you know, but he's also known to take guys down, and, you know, it's just a matter of defending those takedowns, defending the punches, and punching them in his face.
Dan Henderson has advantages. He honestly does hit harder than me with his right hand.
Bam! Drops him.
Hopefully I land my right hand one time, the fight might be over. You know, all it takes is one punch.
That's it! He's out cold.
I think my biggest advantage is going to be my speed.
He's firing away.
I'm the bigger guy, and I can wrestle better than Dan Henderson. You just put him in the fight, and I'll go beat him up.
Joe, that man is about as world-class as we have ever seen. For over 2 decades, Dan Henderson has been one of the greatest fighters in the world. Be it the UFC, Pride, Strikeforce, you name it, he has done it. He's got one thing left on the list, of course, but he's coming off another knockout of Shogun. The H-bomb is the difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a guy who's got a long career in MMA. I have had the privilege of being there for his very first fight in the octagon way back in 1998. Remember that fight?
Mobile, Alabama.
Yep, fought in a tournament, actually. Yeah. That was back when they had 2 fights tonight. He beat Alan Goes, and then he defeated Carlos Newton to win the middleweight tournament. UFC 17.
Yeah, Alan Goes, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and then Newton, one of the few Canadians to ever be a UFC champion. He and GSP.
Who was a spectacular submission fighter in his time.
As you see Dan Henderson stepping into the Ultimate Poker prep point, Ultimate Poker, the official online gaming partner of the UFC. Visit ultimatepoker.com, your poker room online. And you were starting to say, Joe, seeing him today, you still know it's just as dangerous as ever.
Oh, he just knocked out Shogun with 1 punch. I mean, and it's after getting tagged and hurt in the first round. I mean, he's always dangerous. His chin is one of his best weapons. So durable. And he's so tough mentally. He never gives up. He's always in a fight. And he has extreme confidence in his power. And it's not just his right hand. Everybody says it's his right hand. He knocked out Vanderlei Silva with his left. He's got power in both hands. It's just he throws the right hand more often.
The 2-time Olympian, the former Pride and Strikeforce champion, Hendo Dan Henderson. Both of these great wrestlers embrace the grind. One man is already a legend. This man, Daniel Cormier, hopes he is at the beginning of a legendary MMA career.
Well, Daniel Cormier is so successful in his MMA career that he's a 10-to-1 favorite coming into this fight. It's crazy. When you think about just the resume of Dan Henderson, it's mind-blowing. But Daniel Cormier has been amazing, both at heavyweight and his debut at light heavyweight was also spectacular to get Pat Cummings. A long time coming. Most people thought that at light heavyweight, that's where we're going to see him at his best, despite the fact that he was unbeaten against world-class competition at heavyweight, including 2 former UFC heavyweight champions. He has outstanding hand techniques. That's one of the things that people sleep on when it comes to Cormier. They think about his wrestling, but the fluidity of his punching technique and his ability to cover distance and his speed. His speed both in his hands and his feet, and his takedowns in wrestling are, of course, world-class. He's a winner. He's a winner, and he's got this champion's mindset that's impossible to, you can't weigh, you can't put it on a scale, you can't figure out what it's worth, but he's got it. Dan Henderson has it as well, and it's just this thing that these guys have that lets them figure out a way to win fights that ordinarily they wouldn't be winning. And when you get 2 guys like this together, one guy who's been through adversity in Dan Henderson, one guy who's figured out a way to win when the chips are down, and one guy in Daniel Cormier that's never had to. It's a very, very interesting situation, because what happens if Dan connects? If Dan Henderson catches him with one of his patented punches, can Cormier land it? And what happens if Cormier uses that hand speed and fluidity and boxes up Dan Henderson?
Professional since 2009. He started training MMA, Joe, at age 30. But the Olympian faces off against the Olympian here tonight. Our tale of the tape for this light heavyweight showcase is brought to you by Ultimate Poker, the official online gaming partner of the UFC. Visit ultimatepoker.com, your poker room online. Cormier 35, Henderson 43. Henderson weighing in at 199 pounds will have a slight reach advantage. With the official introductions, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 30 wins, 11 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 199 pounds. Fighting out of Temecula, California, he is the former Pride welterweight and middleweight champion and the former Strikeforce light heavyweight champion, presenting Dan Henderson! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a wrestler and a kickboxer, holding an undefeated professional record, 14 wins, no losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of San Jose, California, he is the former Strikeforce heavyweight Grand Prix champion, Daniel D.C. Cormier. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Yves Levine.
Take a step at all time will be my command at all time. If you want to touch that, do it now, go back to your corner.
Huge respect, mutual. DC, Hendo. You saw Cain Velasquez, the heavyweight champion. Training partner, very good friend of Cormier, but an Arizona State Sun Devil like Henderson.
Are you ready, sir?
He watches very closely tonight. And here we go. Tonight's clock brought to you by Bud Light. Here we go. White trunks for Hendo, black trunks to DC, Daniel Cormier. That right hand is always in the trigger position.
You can see by the stance of Cormier that he was going to start throwing some kicks. Seemed to have a bit of an upright stance. And that's one of the differences between their styles. Cormier throws a lot of hand techniques, but he'll throw high kicks. You very rarely see that from Henderson. But does have good leg kicks. Ducks under there.
Yeah, he did. Looking for the... Oh! Great takedown, right into side control, Joe. Wow. He took Hendo for a ride there.
Cormier, the bigger man, struggles a bit to get down to 205, and as we said, Dan Henderson weighed in quite a bit below the limit at 199.
We've only seen Cormier for 1 minute and 19 seconds at 205 in that fight against Patrick Cummins down the street at the Mandalay Bay.
And Dan has Cormier's right arm tied up with his legs, and he's holding on to his left arm like this. He's got him in a bit of a cradle. Look at that. Cormier tried to slam his way out of it. And Dan hit him with some hard elbows from this position. He's trying to hold that arm in place. Now he's trying to go for an arm bar. He's trying to submit him here, and Cormier pulls his arm out.
Both of these men possess that wrestling strength, Joe.
And Cormier got out of both trouble spots. And now Cormier in full side control here.
Trying to work the body of Henderson. He wants to get out of this position. We always talk about iron sharpens iron. Cain Velasquez, Daniel Cormier. They were made to go to battle as teammates in MMA. They have both learned from each other and pushed each other to unparalleled limits.
That is a tremendous advantage, having someone like Cain Velasquez with just infinite gas tank, who has world-class skills, one of the best heavyweights, if not the best ever. And that's the guy you train with on a day-to-day basis.
And he's really not cutting weight, Joe, but when they're in there working, they're really close in weight.
Yeah.
Similar build, everything's perfect.
Yeah, and they go at it. I've watched some of those training camps. I've watched some of those videos of sparring sessions, and it's amazing. I mean, these guys push each other to the brink, and that's what makes great fighters. Having that kind of an environment, having great training partners that are elite world-class fighters that, you know, are better than almost anybody you're ever going to face inside the cage.
Cormier trying to get the mount.
Moving in the mount as Dan holds onto his neck. And Dan's in a bit of a pickle here. He's not taking too much damage, but he's stuck underneath the bigger man, Cormier, not scoring any points, and he can't win from here.
And again, half guard is a position that wrestlers don't mind from the top. And now he's trying once again to get to the full mount.
Yeah,
Almost there.
He's hitting him with some hard body shots too, and that allowed him to fully escape in the mount. And Dan is trying to hip escape and get back to half guard.
He does.
He wrapped the leg up, but purely defensive at this point.
No question. But as you said, not taking a ton of damage.
Not taking a ton of damage, but getting exhausted, having the bigger man on top of him. And for DC, not much work. Making Henderson carry his weight is huge. Big punches to the body. Good up kick by Dan.
Henderson's last 7 bouts have come against former champions in one organization or another, and Cormier thinks he's a future champion.
This is crazy watching Cormier ragdoll Dan on the ground like this. The way he took him down, and now the way he's handling him on the ground. These are big shots.
Just over a minute on the clock here in the first.
Completely controlling the ground.
Yeah. And this is Olympian versus Olympian. Both
looking
men
for
representing
the
U.S.
north-south position.
A lot of top position here in round 1 for DC.
Dan looking for, trying to get a leg lock there and allow him to stand back up. He's on that leg lock attempt to get back to his feet.
Watch for the H-bomb.
When you see Daniel Cormier, I should say, stand up tall, well, there's a big right hand over the top. Look for those kicks to start coming. There it is. Yeah.
And with Henderson, look for the low inside kick from the left with the right hand follow. That's his trademark move.
Look at Henderson trying to take Cormier there.
Okay. And Cormier able to stuff it. 10 seconds on the clock. Big round 1 for Cormier.
Yeah, huge with that big takedown, and huge with his dominance on the ground, his ability to control Dan Henderson.
Hey, great top game, DC.
Breathe and listen.
Perfect. Okay.
Breathe and listen.
Nice looking good out there. I want you to continue to the right. That is the key, okay? Anything you want to do, I don't care. I want that continuous movement, okay?
Hey.
I want a little more damage on the ground. I want a little more space to create it. You got to pick your shot, okay? Hey, don't worry. Nice
Crazy
shot.
Bob Cook.
Okay, pick your shot.
Hey, DC. Of DC.
Look at this. Wow. That's called ragdolling somebody. And when you do it to someone like me, it's not impressive. When you do it to Dan Henderson, that's very impressive. And Daniel Cormier is nothing but impressive in his 14-0 mixed martial arts career against one of the most dangerous fighters he's ever met inside the octagon, arguably the most decorated, and he just dominated that first round. But make no mistake about it, just like Shogun dominated the first round in the last fight that Dan Henderson had, Dan can still shut the lights out with one shot at any time.
Shogun really put a lot of hurting on Henderson in that rematch for the first 2 rounds. Had Dan in trouble.
Well, that's one of the things about Dan is his durability. He's got a shocking chin.
And here he takes a big swing. And remember, Cormier made his light heavyweight debut against Patrick Cummins. The fight only lasted a little over a minute, so keep an eye on the cardio of Daniel Cormier.
He's in great shape. I don't think you have to worry about that. But the Patrick Cummins fight was a quick victory. But in Cummins' defense, he took that fight on literally a week's notice. Crowd's booing.
And of course, cardio stays with you when you're on top. And that's what DC's doing again.
Yeah, I mean, he's not having to work nearly as hard as Henderson does. Carrying all that weight and also trying to push that weight off you to get back up to your feet. Oh, big elbow by Cormier.
Of course, we had the Ronda Rousey-Sarah McMahon Olympic matchup.
This shows you what kind of respect Daniel Cormier has for the punching power of Dan Henderson. When you consider the guys that Cormier has stood up with, guys like Bigfoot Silva, guys like Josh Barnett, has been in there with, you know.
Guy's about 50 pounds heavier than
big shots by Cormier.
Henderson trying to get up.
I mean, in the Josh Barnett fight, we really got to see what kind of wrestling Cormier possesses. To watch him ragdoll that big former heavyweight champion like that. And that was a big test for him as well at Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix. We also got to see in the Bigfoot Silva fight his combinations of his punches, which are outstanding.
Ground strikes all Cormier.
Yeah, Cormier looks like he's trying to set up a submission, Mike. He's riding on top.
Shot to the body.
Big shot to the body. Big punches by DC. Big left hands.
Henderson is just in defense mode again.
Yeah, he's completely stuck.
Midway point of the fight.
Oh,
that was a big shot.
Hard shots. Again, DC just moving all over him, controlling him. Full mount now for DC.
And that is one thing Cormier said, Joe, is that he felt he could out-wrestle Dan Henderson.
Well, he's certainly been correct.
No doubt about it. Trying to advance to that full mount again.
He had it briefly, but Dan did a good job of hip escaping, getting back to half guard. A bit better defensively, but Cormier still just roughing him up. Elbows, punches to the body.
Officially, Cormier has 2 takedowns, but man, is he taking advantage of those.
He's trying to get him in a mounted crucifix here. His ability to control Dan Henderson is actually pretty shocking. I mean, when was the last time we ever saw anybody do this on the ground?
Maybe never, right?
I don't think so. I can't think of a time where you see Dan for 2 rounds solid on his back, squirming around. You know, that leg lock attempt was the only thing to get him back up to his feet. And Dan's trying to tie up that leg again. He's going to have to go under that left leg of Cormier, though, to try to get back up to his feet. And Cormier's not having any of it.
No, and he knows how to stay heavy.
And he's beating Dan up in the process. Making Dan carry his weight. Dan tried to roll, but look, Cormier followed him perfectly. Right back into side control, sticks to him like glue. Heavy hips.
Good ground and pound by Daniel Cormier here in round 2.
Yeah, Dan is getting beat up. I mean, Dan's trying desperation moves like knees to the body from the bottom. He is getting pounded on.
Yeah. Yves Levine right there takes a look at the clock, takes a look at the action. He knows how durable Henderson is, though.
Well, that's one of the things about being a legend. Everybody gets to know how you fight, right? You know, there's no surprises in the chin of Dan Henderson.
Or south.
This is crazy. Look at this top position. 7 minutes and 28 seconds in 2 rounds.
Basically about 8 out of 10 minutes of the fight.
These are big shots from Cormier. Just slowly but surely beating Dan up, making Dan carry his weight for 2 rounds, and then hanging on here in the 3rd, though, doing nothing, waiting for the clock to run out.
He did it with 2 takedowns.
In the 2nd.
One in the 1st, one in the 2nd.
Total domination on the ground, and one of the rare times you've ever seen Dan Henderson cut.
Yeah.
Hey, I know it sucks, but you have to fucking fight this guy now. I know you're tired. Sit down, Dan. Sit down. Sit down, Dan. Sit down.
Hendo knows exactly what he
I know you're tired, but you have to go fight him now. You have to go fight him. Yeah? I know. I know. You have to go now. Okay? Let's go.
I can't hear what Dan is saying.
There's blood in his eye. Blood in his eye. Let's go. Let's go.
Don't forget, on Saturday, July 5th, from the Mandalay Bay Event Center in Las Vegas, it's UFC 175. Chris Weidman, Lyoto Machida for the middleweight belt. Plus, Rowdy Ronda Rousey returns against Alexis Davis, and Chael Sonnen fights Vanderlei Silva. UFC 175, July 5th, only on pay-per-view. 3rd and final round. Great respect shown by Cormier and Henderson. UFC 173, brought to you by Bud Light. Here we go.
And again, a tall Daniel Cormier standing up high, not worried about the takedowns of Dan Henderson. Look for that left kick.
And standing up is what Henderson needs to do in this round. He's got to keep this on the feet, give himself a chance to win. That's his move, that low kick and a punch, but it's usually at a little quicker speed. Hendo's gas from carrying Cormier for so long. Goodness, my goodness indeed. Look at that.
Just complete ragdoll.
You're absolutely right, Joe. It's a first for Dan Henderson.
Yeah, this is I mean, total domination by Cormier. And in the grappling, you know, in Dan Henderson's world.
Yeah. The athleticism of Cormier.
The technique, the athleticism, the conditioning, the power, everything. He's a beast.
Top of the food chain.
I mean, there's a reason why everybody's so high on this man. And it's not just because of the fact that he's had so much success. It's what everybody's said about him in the training room. It's what everybody knows about him based on his wrestling credentials. He's something special.
Yeah, and when we talk about the guy's heroes, Cormier talks about John Smith, Kevin Jackson, Dan Gable, Kenny Monday, some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And you've always said, Joe, the greatest base in MMA is wrestling. They both have it. Right now, Daniel's
no question. Well, look at, you know, you're talking about a guy who's 35 years old, started training in MMA at 30. Yeah. He's one of the elite of the elite. And he's dominating one of the greatest of all time right now.
He's got full mount.
Same thing with Jon Jones. Look at Jon Jones. I mean, the guy trains for 4 years, dominates the light heavyweight division, and wins the title, youngest guy ever, wrestling. It all starts out in wrestling. It's because the mind is the most important part of the big picture. And no one has a stronger mindset than amateur wrestlers. No one. They endure so much, and they're so mentally tough. And I think that when you get as good as a guy like Daniel Cormier gets at wrestling, you can get good at anything. It's just, they're willing to work harder, they're smarter, they're more focused. There's just something about the elite of the elite in any given sport.
They embrace the grind. And really, Joe, what you just said about Daniel Cormier, we were saying about Cain Velasquez 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
Same base, and look where he is now.
And this is one of the reasons why Cain is so good. And this is one of the reasons also why Daniel's so good. Because Daniel Cormier goes through this with Cain, you know, on a daily basis, all year round. This is bad. I mean, Dan Henderson has nothing left in the tank. And if Daniel Cormier unloads, he could easily get this fight stopped.
This is perhaps as one-sided as we've seen Dan Henderson be dominated in the UFC.
Well, certainly for 3 rounds.
The UFC.
Certainly for 3 rounds. You know, I mean, we've seen him lose quickly, like the Vitor Belfort fight, and we've seen him, you know, lose in the 2nd round of the Anderson Silva fight.
But a good first round.
Yeah, good first round where he controlled Anderson on the ground. But we've never seen this. I mean, this is Daniel Cormier proving to the world that he's one of the best in the division at 205 pounds, one of the scariest of the contenders.
Bigger, younger, faster.
Just awesome, you know? And now Daniel Cormier has got the back of Dan Henderson with the arm underneath the neck.
He wants to finish his fight. Trying to tap him out.
He might have it here.
DC looking for the submission.
His own glove for the finish.
Man, how tough is that?
That's it.
It is all over. Daniel Cormier, winner by submission. He defeats Dan Henderson.
He went out.
Total domination.
He choked Dan out right in front of us.
Hendo wouldn't tap.
Henderson is waking up right now, realizing what happened. I don't know if Hendo tapped or if he went out after he tapped. It's hard to tell. We couldn't see. We'll see it in the replay, but what a performance by Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, let's take a look at it, Joe. Our fight replay brought to you by Bud Light. Here we go.
Look at this. I mean, he did that to Josh Barnett, so I don't know why we're surprised that he did it to Dan Henderson. But look at this. He gets him back up, and look at this trip. Watch this. Gets him up. Watch his left leg. Whoop. Boom. I mean, it's like, all due respect, it's like a man and a boy. Now here, he sunk it in. He got his back, and he never tapped. Yves Levine recognized that Dan was out. Dan never tapped. There's not a tougher man that's ever walked the face of the planet than Dan Henderson.
Amen.
But man, Daniel Cormier is something special.
He refused to tap, finished nonetheless. Daniel Cormier is 15-0 as he defeats Dan Henderson with the official decision. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Levine has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 53 seconds of the 3rd round. Declaring the winner by submission due to a rear naked choke, Daniel D.C. Cormier.
Two great competitors. Is Cormier the future? We will visit with Joe.
Annual winner Daniel Cormier. Dan, really a spectacular performance.
1 second. Jon Jones, you can't run away from me forever. I'm the kid at the wrestling tournament that is always in your bracket. No matter where you go, boy, I'm coming. You better hurry because I'm getting better.
And you are getting better, sir. Amazing performance tonight against a true legend in Dan Henderson. Did anything surprise you about this fight?
No, I mean, it was just, I know nobody can wrestle me, so it doesn't matter. If I decide to take Jon Jones down 100 times, I'll take him down 100 times. This is my octagon, I'm the man.
I don't think we should say anything more. I think what you did tonight was a masterful performance, and I can't wait to see you fight for the title.
Thank you so much.
Daniel Cormier, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm here with one of the toughest human beings that's ever walked the face of the planet, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Henderson, you know, you have had such a long career, and I've been very fortunate to be there from the beginning, your very first Octagon fight. Give me your thoughts on this fight tonight and what this means to you.
You know, he's a heavy guy, and got on top of me and just wore me out a little bit. And, you know, I don't know, I'm just disappointed in my performance. You know, so I apologize to all you fans, and I really appreciate your support.
Well, you got nothing but love from this crowd here tonight, Dan. You fought your career at 185 and at 205. Do you think if you continue, you'll compete as a middleweight?
Possibly. I mean, I weighed in at 199 for this fight, which is smaller than most middleweights, but you know, I've never really noticed that big of a difference till, you know, tonight he was just head on top. Maybe I shouldn't have given that chicken.
Well, and even in the end, you still refuse to tap and go out. What do you do now? Do you go and think about the future? Do you have a plan set in your mind?
You know, my plan was to beat DC tonight, so just gonna have to figure it out and move forward. And I'm not done yet. I'm still gonna compete. You know, I love the sport, and I absolutely love the support you guys give me, and I will continue to do it until I can.
It's been an honor to call your fights. You're one of the greatest of all time. And thank you very much for another amazing display of heart and courage. Dan Henderson, ladies and gentlemen.
He truly is a Hall of Famer in all rights, and there is his good friend Cain Velasquez, of course, training partner of Daniel Cormier, and Johnny Football. The Cleveland Browns selected Johnny Manziel. Will he be the savior on the banks of Lake Erie? He's in attendance tonight, and it's great to see him.